Good everyone, so today we're going to discuss Quarter 1 Module 2 Solving Quadratic Equations by Extracting the Roots where C is not a perfect square. Example, solve by extracting the square roots. Letter D, we have here x squared minus 23 is equal to 0. Step number 1, isolate our constant term, which is 23. Take note, this is minus 23, so mag-add tayo ng additive inverse, which is plus 23 on both sides of our equation. Simplifying it, we have here x squared. Negative 23 plus 23 is equal to 0. Is equal to 0 plus 23 is positive 23. Apply square root property on both sides of our equation. So take note, this is square root. The index here is 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. Ibig sabihin, lalabas ng ating radical sign or square root symbol ng x is equal to, once nag-square ka, maglalagay ka lagi ng plus and minus sa tabi ng ating constant terms. Think of the same number if you multiply, that will give you 23. So wala. Therefore, our answer is, or the value of x is equal to positive, negative, square root of 23. Letter E, we have here x squared minus 45 is equal to 0. So step number 1, isolate your constant term. Here, our constant term is 45. And this is minus 45 and its additive inverse is positive 45. Mag-add tayo kabilaan ng plus 45 on both sides of our equation. Next, simplify natin. We have here x squared. Negative 45 plus 45 is equal to 0. 0 plus 45 is 45. Step number 3, apply square root property. Take note, our index here is 2, so 2 divided by 2 is 1. Lalabas yung x sa loob ng ating radical sign or square root symbol, plus, minus. Next, square root of 45. Note na yung 45 ay hindi perfect square. So what we're going to do is to do prime factorization. So able to do that, you need to keep in mind the list of perfect square. That is 1, 4. So how did I get 1? So 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 3 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16, 5 times 5 is 25, 6 times 6 is 36, 7 times 7 is 49, 64, 81, 100, and so on. Now, kukunin natin yung prime factorization ni 45. And then, pag nag-prime factorization ka, dapat may isa kang perfect square and non-perfect square. Now, what's the highest perfect square that can divide 45? And that is 9. So, ang factor ni 45 ay isang perfect square na that is 9. So, 45 divided by 9 is 5. Ibig sabihin, ang factor ni 45 ay 9 times 5. So, we have here a perfect square which is 9 and a non-perfect square which is 5. So, the value of x is equals to positive, negative, square root of 9. So, that is, think of a two number na parehas na kapag multiply mo, ang sagot ay 9. And that is b, square root of 5. Mag-isip ka ng dalawang parehas na number na kapag multiply mo, ang sagot ay 5. So, wala. So, all you need to do is to copy square root of 5. Therefore, the value of our x is equals to positive, negative 3 square root of 5. Letter F, we have here x squared minus 68 is equal to 0. So, step number 1, isolate your constant term. At ang constant term natin ay 68. And to do that, we need to add the additive inverse of 68. Since this is minus 68, additive inverse niya, that is positive or plus 68. Mag-add tayo parehas sa equation, ha? Simplifying it, we have here x squared. Negative 68 plus 68 is equal to 0. Is equal to 0 plus 68 is 68. Apply square root property on both sides of our equation. We have here, take note that the index of a square root is 2. So, 2 divided by 2 is 1. Ibig sabihin, yung x ay lalabas sa loob ng radical sign or square root symbol, plus minus square root of 68. Take note, si 68 ay hindi perfect square. So, gagawin natin, we do prime factorization. Then, list natin lahat ng perfect square. We have here 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16, 5 times 5 is 25, 6 times 6 is 36, 7 times 7 is 49, 8 times 8 is 64, 9 times 9 is 81, 10 times 10 is 100. Take note, si 64 ay hindi perfect square. So, pag nagpa-prime factorization ka, you need two factors. Isang perfect square at isang not perfect square. So, ano ba yung factors ng 68 na perfect square yung isa at isa ay hindi? So, think of the greatest perfect square that can divide 68. So, that is 4. So, 68 divided by 4 is 17. Therefore, the factor of 68 are square root of 4 times square root of 17. We have here x is equals to positive negative square root of 4. Think of two same number na kapag multiply mo ang sagot ay 4. That is 2. Similarly, think of the same number na kapag multiply mo, that is 17. So, wala. Therefore, the final answer is x is equal to positive negative 2 square root of 17.